A millionaire reveals a surprising way to provide bread for two hungry girls. Tom Sullivan stared out of his high-rise office window, the view of the sprawling city blurring into a sea of gray. He was a self-made millionaire, the owner of a successful construction company, yet all he felt was emptiness hollering inside him like an abandoned warehouse. Sundays used to be sacred, family dinners filled with laughter and warmth, but those days had slipped away, replaced by sterile board meetings and distant corporate deals. Watching families gather in the town square from his gleaming glass fortress only intensified his solitude. The laughter of children and the aroma of fresh bread wafting from Mia and Lily's bakery echoed memories he could hardly bear to confront. His heart tightened as he recalled the news of the sisters facing the frightening prospect of losing their home. Their mother's bakery was more than a business, it was a shrine of love and resilience. The thought of those two girls, alone and fighting against the cruel hand of fate, carved deep into Tom's soul. Could he truly just sit back and watch? The very idea churned his insides. But how could he help them without trampling on their pride? He had built his empire from grit, echoing values of loyalty and compassion instilled in him by his parents. Yet, as the enormity of their situation pulsed in his mind, he felt his confidence falter. What if his involvement undermined their efforts? He felt an odd resistance, like a weight pressing against his chest, an internal struggle paralyzing him with uncertainty. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As he approached Mia and Lily, he sensed their fierce independence. Mia was a mirror of their mother, resolute and unwavering. They didn't need a handout, and he could sense their frustration every time he offered help. Why can't they see I want to protect their legacy? Tom's mind raced feverishly, swirling with doubt and desperation. Every time he tried to help, they recoiled, stigmatized by his wealth like a shadow eclipsing their fight. Then came the news that sent chilling waves through him. A rival construction mogul had discovered the sisters' precarious position and aimed to exploit it. Tom blanketed a growing rage mixed with a dark fear. Those girls did not deserve to be cornered. Yet what could he do? To intervene openly might only amplify their disdain, further isolating him. What was the answer? Betray their trust or remain silent? And as the threat loomed, Tom felt helplessly caught in their resistance, yet he couldn't abandon them. Securing both their future and his own sense of purpose seemed impossibly intertwined. The stakes were escalating, echoing in his mind like a drumbeat of anguish that grew louder. Facing this rival in front of the town might be the only way to show Mia and Lily he wasn't just another businessman with dollar signs in his eyes. He could stand tall and protect them, or remain in the shadows, forever haunted by the choices he hesitated to make. The air felt charged, the day uncertain, as he gathered the courage to make his stand. Would this moment define him, or would it push the two girls further away? It was a tipping point, the weight of potential outcomes hanging heavily in the balance, as Tom prepared for the clash that could redefine his life forever. Tom stood at the precipice of a decision that threatened to siphon away the very essence of his being. His fingers danced anxiously over the polished surface of the conference table as thoughts of Mia and Lily's bakery pressed against his mind like the relentless city traffic below. The tension was palpable, an electric hum that enveloped him. Every heartbeat resonated with purpose and fear, while his gaze lingered on the framed photo of the sisters, radiant smiles capturing a moment of joy that felt worlds away from the dread he felt now. He had built his life on calculated risks, yet here he was on the verge of a gamble that felt unlike anything he'd ever faced. Could he really confront the rival who threatened the sisters' dreams? More daunting was the prospect of challenging the very nature of their independence. He understood their pride. He valued it himself. It had driven him to climb the corporate ladder, one painstaking step at a time, just as Mia and Lily had nurtured their legacy beneath the flares of a flickering oven light. As he prepared for what lay ahead, Tom felt a flicker of determination ignite within him. He recalled lessons from his own upbringing, an emphasis on doing what was right, not just what was easy. It became clear to him that he'd need to adopt a different strategy if he truly intended to help. The question was no longer about salvaging the bakery. It was about affirming the sisters' strength and their right to fight. He envisioned a different encounter, one where he would not overshadow their struggles, but stand beside them, aligning his influence to amplify their voice instead of stifling it. He would confront the mogul not as an adversary, but as an ally willing to protect the dream that had stirred life into the bakery's walls. Driving toward the sisters' neighborhood, peppered with the bittersweet scent of fresh-baked goods wafting from their shop, Tom's resolve tightened like a noose around his doubts. He spotted the bakery sign, its colors vibrant against a gray backdrop of impending rain. He slowed his vehicle, feeling an inexplicable weight of responsibility shimmering in the air. Stepping inside, the warmth of the shop enveloped him, and he scanned the room for Mia and Lily. They were engaged with their customers, laughter bubbling as they exchanged banter and pastries. A pang of longing surged in his chest. For a moment, he envied their joy. They were rooted in the community, cherished by strangers. Just then, Mia caught his eye, her expression shifting from cheerful surprise to guarded apprehension. The tension seeped through the air as he approached, his palms clammy with apprehension. "Mia, can we talk?" Her gaze darted past him, and he felt the weight of unspoken resistance. "We don't need your help, Tom." His heart raced, only amplifying his determination. "This is bigger than just us now. I know you want to protect what you've built, and I respect that. But if we don't act together, everything could slip away." The rival. Tom hesitated, choosing his words carefully. "They're dangerous, heading your way. We can't let them take what's rightfully yours." Mia set her jaw, her resolve deepening. "You don't understand. Your idea of help isn't the same as ours." At that moment, a crack formed in Tom's certainty. The impassioned plea in her eyes ignited a fierce self-exploration. Had he assumed too much? Had he been blind to their unique battle? "Mia, I want to learn how we can protect this together. I want to go into this as partners, not as saviors. Please." The silence stretched taut between them, expectations colliding as her expression softened, yet wariness still shrouded her heart. This was the moment when vulnerability clashed with pride, and the stakes flickered like the bakery's glowing neon sign. Would she accept his offer, or was the chasm between their worlds too wide to bridge? Both of them stood at the crossroads, their futures hanging in the balance. In that charged space, Tom realized the extent of the emotional labyrinth they needed to navigate together. The uncharted territory ahead loomed larger than he'd ever imagined. Now, he had to decide which steps to take in the dance of trust, and whether the risk of true partnership was worth the potential loss. Would they find common ground, or would the existing divide threaten to consume them both? The air pulsed with unresolved tension as Tom prepared for the response that could either draw them closer or push them apart irrevocably. Mia studied Tom, her expression shifting through a spectrum of emotions, a ballet of hope, skepticism, and a tinge of regret. His words floated in the small space between them, thick with the gravity of their implications. She could sense his sincerity, yet years of independence reared up within her, refusing to settle for an easy solution. For a moment, the lively sounds of the bakery faded, and all that remained was the weight of the choice laid bare before them. "I know you'd be in this with me, Tom," she finally asked, her voice steady but tinted with uncertainty. The question cut deeper than she intended. It was a vulnerability that felt wrong, spoken aloud. As an entrepreneur, Mia had honed the skill of relying solely on herself. Accepting help required not just surrender, but a leap of faith. Tom's heart surged. This was the opening he needed, but with it came the realization of how steep the hill had become. Trust is a journey, and I don't expect you to accept me wholeheartedly right now. But I want to prove it to you. You've done everything on your own, but maybe, I think we could tackle this together in a way that honors what you've built. The intricate dance of trust was demanding, and Tom felt the unease settle in his stomach. He was acutely aware of how precarious this moment was. A misstep could send Mia back into her fortress of independence and isolation. Taking a deep breath, he pressed on. Let me help you strategize, and together we can devise a plan to confront the competition without you feeling as if you're handing over control. Mia's eyes bore into his, searching for any sign of weakness. The challenge posed by her own defensiveness was twofold. One part mistrust, one part fear of losing what she held dear. Okay, she said finally, almost reluctantly. But let's be clear, this isn't about you saving us. Her words were resolute, cutting through the static of their uncertain alliance. We're capable, Lily and I. We always have been. I know, Tom replied, feeling a surge of respect for her fierce spirit. This is about empowerment, not rescue. As the words settled, the atmosphere shifted. It was subtle, like the ebbing tide pulling back ahead of a storm. They were beginning to align, but the journey ahead was still riddled with challenges. There was work to be done, hurdles to clear, and the ever-present danger of the rival looming on the periphery. They spent hours brainstorming together in the bakery's back room, an unassuming space that echoed their ideas. Tom immersed himself in understanding every nuance of the bakery's operations. It was liberating and disconcerting at equal measure. He enjoyed tapping into his innate organizational skills, but with each insight, he also confronted the stark realities faced by the sisters. The laughter that permeated the front of the bakery was a well-crafted facade against the mounting fears of impending financial doom. As the sun dipped low, casting warm rays through the shop's inviting windows, Tom felt their partnership solidifying with every passing moment. Yet beneath the surface, his mind raced with questions and strategies. He found himself drawing closer to Mia, who exuded a tenacity he couldn't help but admire. Her passion ignited his own. Somehow, he was no longer just a businessman. He was a participant in a meaningful cause. Mia reached for her notebook, her brow furrowed in concentration as they discussed tactics. What if we created a community-focused event? We've been thinking about a fall festival, showcasing local goods and partnering with other businesses. The idea was clever, intertwining both necessity and pride, a declaration that they would not go quietly. Tom felt a rush of determination swell within him. That could lift us beyond just bacon. It's about building a narrative. We're not just defending the bakery, we're declaring our place in this community. As their excitement built, a shadow crossed Tom's mind, a reminder of what lay behind them. The looming threat of the rival was a persistent specter, and his heart sank momentarily. Would this festival and their partnership be enough? Yet, amid the chaos of uncertainty, a grin broke across Mia's face, and for Tom, that smile felt like a beacon guiding him through the gathering storm. He realized he had discovered a hidden talent for collaboration that he never knew existed. And just like that, in a moment pooled with potential, Tom understood the journey ahead was going to demand more courage than he'd anticipated. Would their combined efforts yield the triumph they hoped for? In the quiet, with plans in motion and the stakes mapped out, Tom felt an unexpected tremor shake his confidence. The shadows were closing in, and he couldn't shake the feeling that the most difficult confrontation was yet to come. The next morning brought the brightness of an unsettling clarity. Tom woke up earlier than usual, his mind buzzing with strategies that teased him for attention. He sat on the edge of the bed, gripping the mattress as if it could anchor him against the tide of uncertainty that threatened to sweep him away. What had begun as an innocent collaboration with Mia had morphed into a high-stakes battle where they would need to outmaneuver their rival. As he pulled on a shirt, the weight of expectation pressed heavily on his shoulders. This wasn't solely about business anymore. It was an intertwining of hopes, dreams, and a woman's trust. Tom couldn't shake the feeling that he had crossed into a territory where personal stakes were intimately tied to professional outcomes. With every decision, he faced the risk of devastating failure, not just for himself, but for Mia and Lily. He poured himself a strong cup of coffee, letting the bitter aroma flood his senses, and he thought about Mia's unwavering spirit. She had offered her partnership cautiously, a fragile bridge spanning between their disparate worlds. Today would mark the beginning of their first concerted efforts to combat the uncertain future that loomed over the bakery. The bakery, when he arrived, felt different. The morning light seeped through the windows, illuminating flour dust suspended in the air like tiny stars. There was a sense of urgency about the atmosphere, a collective determination hanging over the daily hustle. Mia was already there, focusing on preparing the fresh batch of pastries, her hands skillful and confident. Tom approached, his pulse quickening at the sight of her. "I was thinking," hesitated but pressed forward, bolstered by the gravity of their situation. "What if we set specific goals for today, tactics we can measure?" Mia paused, turning to him with raised eyebrows, her expression a blend of curiosity and challenge. "Like what?" "Let's identify one strategy we can implement right away and see how it plays out," he proposed, emboldened by their previous brainstorming session. The details felt crucial. It wasn't just about fighting the competition, but about claiming their narrative. She nodded, brows creasing in thought. "Okay, we could focus on enhancing our social media presence. Let's leverage that to increase customer engagement. If we can amplify our voice out there, it might bring in more foot traffic." Tom felt a spark of agreement. "Yes, let's turn those regular customers into ambassadors. Maybe we can encourage them to share their experiences with our pastries using a unique hashtag." As they talked, Tom noticed a change within himself, as if the act of brainstorming galvanized his confidence. They divided tasks, exploiting their respective strengths to carve a meaningful path ahead. Resources especially felt scarce, and diving into the unknown stirred a lingering anxiety. Just then, the door swung open, and a new customer entered, momentarily breaking the focus. Mia greeted them with her signature warmth, her demeanor instantly transforming to that of the passionate entrepreneur. Tom observed her, captivated by how effortlessly she engaged. This was her essence, navigating connections, effortlessly weaving her story into the lives of those who entered her space. A pang of realization struck him. While he focused on strategy, Mia's true strength lay with her interpersonal skills. He felt an unexpected admiration grow, mingled with self-doubt. Could he really match her ability to connect? The inner confrontation stung. Scenarios of being inadequate washed over him. After the customer left, Tom took a breath, working to channel his feelings positively. "Let's tap into this. What if we organize small tastings, inviting customers to try new pastries while sharing their thoughts on social media?" Mia raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "That could work, but how do we ensure they participate?" "Offer an incentive, maybe a discount for the best post or photo taken in the bakery," he suggested, his pulse quickening as the plans swirled together. Mia's eyes lit up. "You're into this, aren't you?" Tom smiled, feeling the weight of uncertainty lift slightly. He was stepping into a role he hadn't anticipated, but began to embrace, co-creator beside her, a partner in both challenge and ambition. The day unfolded with a flurry of activity, their ideas merging into tangible actions, drawing them closer together. Tom felt a newfound excitement coursing through him. They were not just defending the bakery, but each other as well. Yet with every laugh and shared idea, an unsettling thought nagged at him. The rival never left his mind, and each moment felt like a countdown, an impending confrontation lurking just beyond tomorrow. As evening settled in, with a bustling rush of customers enjoying the warm pastries, Tom caught a glimpse of Mia's laughter shining amidst the flowering cream, a flicker of mischief as she teased Lily. For a fleeting moment, he savored the sense of achievement, but it was accompanied by the rising dread that the real challenge was approaching fast. What consequences awaited them if they stepped too close to the rival? And in his quest to prove himself, would he manage to safeguard the very trust that had started to flourish? The night deepened with unanswered questions, and as they wrapped up their long day, each exchange was punctuated by the unspoken acknowledgement that their days of ease were numbered. The following morning felt impossibly heavy, as if the weight of unfulfilled promises clung to the air. Tom jolted awake, thoughts swirling like autumn leaves caught in a gale. He could no longer view his and Mia's endeavor as merely professional. It had become a crucible for his confidence and a reflection of his worth. Over coffee, he stewed in self-reflection. He had watched Mia last night, her energy radiating and connecting deeply, an artist at work. But her skill made him question his own value. He recognized that he was battling not just external competition, but internal insecurities as well. The silence in the bakery after it closed echoed those doubts. Determined to reshape his perspective, he forced himself to consider what he truly brought to the partnership. Was it merely strategy, or was there a broader potential to discover? At the bakery, he found himself pacing back and forth, grappling with a growing resolve. He caught Mia among flour bags and rolling pins, her focus unwavering as she crafted croissants like precious sculptures. Today, he envisioned not just steering their business goals, but embracing the role of a co-creator within their partnership. "Let's brainstorm some more," Tom called out, shaking off the remnants of doubt. "We need to strategize for our upcoming posts, find ways to catch attention." Mia looked up, interest piqued. "Absolutely. We need to consider what really resonates with our audience. What are they searching for?" "Maybe we could highlight the stories behind our pastries," Tom suggested, surprised by how easily confidence crept in. "Each dessert has its backstory. Let's share that." Her eyes sparkled. That could connect with people on a personal level, but how do we structure it? The collaboration sparked a creative synergy, a rhythm where ideas flowed. They started mapping out a content calendar. Each pastry was paired with its unique narrative, all to be elegantly shared through photos and posts. Tom felt the nervousness ebb as he realized he had the capability to shape their story meaningfully. With each suggested idea, his voice grew stronger. "Let's implement a weekly spotlight showcasing customer stories," he added excitedly. "It'll make the experience feel interactive, personal, real." Mia grinned widely, her laughter lightening the atmosphere. "You're really getting into it. That's great." The inspiration fired not only their creative output, but began to reshape their dynamics. As they exchanged thoughts, Tom recognized shifts in his confidence. The specter of inadequacy was being challenged. He was not just an anchor for Mia, but a partner contributing equally to their narrative. But while their partnership blossomed, the specter of the rival loomed large in his mind. Unrelated whispers occasionally cut through his newfound momentum. A grumble about the competition's expansion, leaner operations, and aggressive advertising strategies. The duality of fear and determination danced within him. Would their efforts even matter in the face of an overpowering rival? Would they end up devoured by an industry shark, mocked for their quaint bakery mission? Each question tightened the knots in his stomach. As midday approached, a familiar face entered. The rival's aggressive marketing manager, scouting potential weaknesses with that keen gaze. Tom froze, his heart racing. He could feel the air thicken, every breath tinged with anxiety. Would they see right through the passion and learning he and Mia were pouring into their work? "I'll handle this," Tom murmured to Mia, the words escaping before they fully formed. He walked towards the newcomer, determination coursing through him. This would be the moment where defensiveness transformed into authority. "Can I help you?" he asked, his voice steady despite the tremble inside. The manager regarded him with a hint of a smirk, clearly sizing him up. "Just curious about your little operation here," she replied, an edge of condescension slipping into her tone. This was his moment. Tom felt the weight of uncalculated fear transition into a powerful resolve. "We're proud of what we create," he responded, fixing her with a clear gaze. "And we're not backing down." He realized in that instant that this was not merely a challenge. It was a crucible of his own making. an opportunity to redefine himself through the choices he made. Yet, as the interaction unfolded, Tom knew this was just the beginning. The real confrontation awaited, and in stepping up today, he had flung wide the door to upcoming battles that would test his newfound courage. What would happen next in this precarious dance of rivalry? Would he be able to assert his place in this complicated world without losing the trust that had begun to burgeon with Mia? The simmering tension promised yet more challenging decisions on the horizon. The air hung thick with an unsettling tension, and as Tom returned to Mia after confronting the rival's marketing manager, a realization washed over him. This wasn't just about business strategy. It was about redefining who he was in the face of doubt. The spark of confidence that had ignited within him was fragile but vital, requiring nurturing against the backdrop of external pressures. "What did she want?" Mia asked, concern etched on her face. Tom shrugged, attempting to mask the intensity of his earlier confrontation. "Just curious, I guess, but it feels like they're watching us closely." Mia's brow furrowed. "They probably are. You know how competitive this industry can be." She wiped flour from her hands, her focus shifting back to the task at hand. "Regardless, we can't let that deter us. We have to stay ahead." Her words both reassured and unsettled him. What did staying ahead mean in this context? Tom had begun to realize that their strategy needed to evolve well beyond the immediate competition. He needed to step further into his role, yet the fear of inadequacy still lingered, whispering of his past failures. "Let's double down on our storytelling idea," he proposed, reigniting their earlier discussion. "But let's elevate it. We can do video snippets, a behind-the-scenes look at how we create our pastries." Mia's expression brightened. "I love that. People connect more with visuals. We should also feature customer testimonials to create a sense of community." Her excitement was infectious, fueling a creative momentum that propelled Tom forward. They spent the remainder of the day sitting amidst scattered flour sacks, brainstorming and laughing until their voices were hoarse, the initial threat of their competition fading behind their shared enthusiasm. However, as they crafted plans for video content and customer engagement, the anxious reality of their rivals simmered just below the surface. Yet another layer of pressure folded into the equation when Tom's smartphone buzzed incessantly beside him. It was his brother, Brian, a financial analyst eager to help, but often overwhelming. "I just checked the numbers. Your last month's income is way below projection. You need to consider cutting costs, Tom," he urged over the phone. The mention of finances triggered a new wave of anxiety. Cutting costs felt like a retreat, a step backward. "We can't compromise our quality," Tom responded. "But you need to balance creativity with reality. If you spend too much time on storytelling without focusing on sales, this whole venture could drown," Brian replied, pragmatic as always. Tom hung up, conflicted. Pressure mounted, compelling him to face a tough choice. Pursue innovative marketing and storytelling while risking financial stability, or strip away the very elements that made their bakery unique for the sake of survival. He turned to Mia, uncertainty clouding his expression. "What if we're overextending ourselves? I just spoke with Brian, and the financials aren't great." Mia paused. "But that's just a part of growing, right? Every business faces challenges. If we believe in what we're doing, we have to stay the course." Tom appreciated her unwavering optimism, yet the burden of financial viability weighed heavily. They had decisions to make that could redefine the trajectory of their collaboration. "The next step is crucial," he said quietly, contemplating the realities ahead while gauging his own ambition against the stakes involved. Every ounce of him wanted to dive deeper into creativity, but the looming expectation hung like a storm cloud overhead, threatening their newfound enthusiasm. Would he be able to balance passion with pragmatism, or would one overshadow the other? Just then, a group of regulars entered the bakery, their chatter radiating warmth and light. They were familiar faces that had become part of the story he and Mia were building. Tom felt a momentary spark of hope swell within him. Perhaps he truly could navigate this delicate balance. The way forward was not clear, and he understood the road wouldn't be smooth. Doubt remained an omnipresent companion, whispering choices and challenges along the path. Would they have the courage to venture through? Or would the pressure of competition force them to retreat from the creativity that sparked their passion? As the door swung open again, a figure stepped in, the rival's marketing manager, seemingly unmoved by the ambiance. Tom's pulse quickened once more. Would she be here to spy again, or was she challenging them further? The evening brightened without losing the weight of impending decisions, and Tom felt the tension mount. What would her next move reveal? Would their resolve hold firm in the face of direct confrontation? The answer lingered in the air, electrifying, as Tom's journey unfurled yet another unexpected chapter. The atmosphere shifted significantly as the rival's marketing manager stepped further into the bakery, her presence a stark reminder of the challenges Tom and Mia faced. Tom forced a smile, but inside, anxiety twisted, wondering what this unexpected visit meant for their plans. "Hi there," the woman chimed, the sweetness of her tone almost artificial. "I didn't expect to see you here, Tom." Her eyes flickered with a mix of curiosity and determination, and Tom couldn't shake the feeling that she was sizing them up. "Just doing some work," he replied, trying to sound nonchalant while guarding his unease. She offered a smile, but it felt more predatory than friendly. "I heard about your upcoming video series. Sounds fascinating," she said, tilting her head slightly. "I bet it'll be great for engagement. Wouldn't want to see you lose too much momentum, though." The veiled threat sliced through Tom's composure. There was no doubt this was a calculated move to rattle them. She was implying that their competition wouldn't hesitate to capitalize on their weaknesses. As she chatted friendly yet pointedly about industry trends, Tom's mind was awash with targeted questions he might throw back. How had she discovered their plans so quickly? What angle could he use to throw her off balance? Yet before he could devise a response, she turned the conversation toward his financial situation. "You know, I could help with some pointers on managing marketing costs," she offered. And for a fleeting moment, Tom contemplated her expertise. It turned to ash as he recalled his brother's warning about cutting costs and losing quality. "Thanks, but we're good," he replied firmly. Even as he uttered those words, the doubt crept back in. Was their confidence truly unfounded? Were they genuinely good? He glanced at Mia, who was meticulously arranging freshly baked pastries, her focus unwavering. She exuded a passion that reminded him of why he had embarked on this journey in the first place. The marketing manager lingered, her eyes hovering. Curiously, as if she sensed a deeper conversation waiting to unfold. Tom could feel the weight of her scrutiny, and that ignited a flicker of defiance within him. It was in moments like this that he realized he couldn't allow fear to dictate their course. Every bakery has its own story, and ours is one of passion and perseverance, Tom finally asserted, trying to muster the conviction that he felt inside. "We're here for more than just profits. We're here to create something that resonates." The woman's smirk faded momentarily, revealing something akin to surprise. But before she could respond, Tom continued, driven by a newfound clarity. "It's easy to assume corner cutting is the way to stay afloat, but we believe in building something that stands strong against the competition." Mia's presence at that moment acted like fuel to a flame, reminding Tom that they were not alone in this battle. They were crafting a unique identity that resonated beyond mere numbers, an identity rooted in their shared dedication. Taking a step back, the rival's marketing manager straightened, seemingly recalibrating her approach. "Well, good luck, Tom. I admire your ambition. You never know what the market will bring." As she turned to leave, Tom felt an unexpected wave of empowerment surge through him. Her retreat confirmed something profound. Their journey wasn't about beating the competition. It was about fortifying their vision. Tom had navigated a challenging conversation and emerged with a sense of purpose, realizing that the choices they faced now held the power to shape their identity as a bakery. He knew he had grown. the doubt that once anchored him now transforming into a weapon of resilience. Yet, the daunting truth of the financial dilemma remained. Despite the wave of confidence washing over him, the entrepreneurial reality awaited. A potential financial commitment loomed, with new marketing ideas needing funding. "Let's revisit the budget tomorrow," he suggested, turning to Mia, who had witnessed the exchange quietly. "We need to ensure we push forward without compromising what we believe in." They needed to draw the line, a plan emerging once again amidst the indecision. But clarity was a fragile thing, often stolen away by unseen hurdles. As they sat down together, discussing strategies for not only bold storytelling but also financial prudence, a thought struck him. What if the very pressure they faced could lead to creative solutions? Would facing this dilemma head-on unlock hidden opportunities they hadn't foreseen? The challenge ahead beckoned with complexity, and as Tom's mind raced through the possibilities, he sensed the impending need for a breakthrough. How could they convert their fears into fuel? Would the answer lie in a chance encounter or deep innovation? In the intricate tapestry of business, they were at a critical juncture, uncertain yet invigorated. The stakes heightened, and Tom knew the next steps would require both courage and ingenuity. As the door swung open yet again, a new head emerged, another face from the industry, presenting an offer neither had expected. The challenge, the resolve that had just solidified, began to tremble, demanding Tom's attention and stirring fresh questions. Would this encounter derail their hard-fought momentum, or would it unlock a vital opportunity they needed in this moment of transformation? The newcomer stepped inside, a tall figure, exuding confidence, yet his expression portrayed a blend of curiosity and weighty intrigue. Clad in a dark suit that contrasted sharply with the warm environment of the bakery, he held a folder close to his chest, the contents invisible yet brimming with potential. Tom felt the air thicken, a tension wrapping around the moment, heightening every sense. "Good afternoon. Tom, right? I'm Ethan," he introduced, his voice smooth and deliberate. Tom nodded, uncertain of where this was headed. Mia paused, her hands stilling over the pastries, as both their attentions zeroed in on the unexpected visitor. "I couldn't help but overhear your earlier conversation," Ethan continued, his gaze sharp. "I specialize in strategies that amplify growth for entrepreneurs like yourself, particularly in niche markets. I think I might have something transformative for you." The words resonated within Tom, igniting both skepticism and curiosity. He couldn't suppress the pang of apprehension tighten in his chest. Too many out there offered silver linings draped in gold, and Tom had learned hard lessons about trusting appearances. Yet, there was something authoritative in Ethan's demeanor that made him linger on the idea. "What do you propose?" Tom asked cautiously, forcing himself to maintain eye contact without being easily swayed. Ethan's expression shifted, melding enthusiasm and seriousness. "I'd like to discuss a collaborative marketing initiative that blends storytelling with innovative funding mechanisms. I've seen your video series plans and believe with just a small investment," he gestured with the folder, sending a shiver of anxiety down Tom's spine. "You could engage a wider audience and generate revenue streams that reduce financial barriers." Tom's heart raced. The thought of taking on an investor brought a flood of memories, past struggles, sleepless nights filled with uncertainty. He glanced at Mia, her brow furrowed in concentration, as if she too could feel the weight of the moment pressing down upon them. "We're focused on our identity, not just profit," Mia interjected, her voice steady yet filled with determination. "If this proposal compromises our vision, then we'll have to pass." Ethan leaned back, his demeanor shifting to one of respect. "I hear you. It's crucial. But let me clarify. I'm not here to change your vision. I'm here to enhance it. Think of what you could create with access to increased resources. You could reinforce your brand while still staying true to your values. The tension in the air transformed into an impulse of possibilities that flickered in Tom's mind. What if they could take their vision, a story bound by passion, and present it on a broader stage without losing its soul? Okay, he replied, surprising himself. Let's say we entertain this. What does your involvement look like? What's in it for you? Ethan's eyes lit up, an eagerness breaking through the professional veneer. I'd take a small equity stake, but more importantly, you'd gain mentorship and a network of potential collaborations. It's about creating synergy. You drive the vision, I help fuel it with resources and connections. The proposal stood like a dual-edged sword. On one hand, it represented a chance for growth, a pivotal opportunity that could elevate them to new heights. On the other, it loomed heavy with implications of control and loss of independence. The room felt utterly still as Tom wrestled with the conflict swirling in his mind. What did they really want? Not just for their bakery, but for themselves. Did attraction to quick success outweigh the principles they founded their journey on? As Tom mulled over these crucial thoughts, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the sleek glass oven door. An entrepreneur wrestling with the raw realities of commitment, vision, and ambition. Let's think it over, Tom finally said, voice steadied but laced with trepidation. We'll need time to contemplate the implications. Of course, Ethan smiled, though a hint of urgency flickered behind his eyes. I'll be back tomorrow then. Maybe we can draft a preliminary plan. As the door closed behind Ethan, the bakery fell back into its ordinary rhythm, yet Tom felt anything but calm. The stakes had changed in an instant, and with it, a baseline question arose anew. Could they remain true to themselves while navigating this newfound terrain? Amidst swirling doubts, Tom felt a quest for clarity intensifying. Was he ready to stake their future on the unfolding potential, or would fear continue to hold them captive? That night, as he lay awake, pondering the crossroads they were on, a new realization struck him. The choices ahead weren't just about a proposal or financial backing, but about the deeper commitment to stay authentic. What truth would they discover about themselves through this decision? The dawn brought with it unforeseen challenges, yet Tom's resolve had ignited a fire within. Could he balance ambition with integrity in an industry driven by numbers? The impending dawn promised to test his mettle and unveil the true essence of what they sought to create. He could feel it in his bones. Change was on the horizon, and it would demand everything he and Mia had to offer. Tom woke up with the sun filtering through the bakery windows, its light illuminating the flour-dusted counters and the rows of fresh pastries. Yet, instead of feeling energized by the promise of a new day, unease tugged at him. Ethan's words had resonated beyond mere business strategy. They lingered in his thoughts, prompting a clash between ambition and authenticity. As the morning unfolded, Tom immersed himself in routine, but his mind wandered. Each knead of the dough seemed to echo his internal turmoil. What did success mean if it compromised their integrity? Every rise of the bread mirrored his fluctuating hopes. They could expand, but at what cost? Mia entered the kitchen, her hair pulled back. Determination etched on her face. "You seem distant," she noted, hands on her hips. "I'm just thinking about Ethan's proposal," he replied, trying to sound more composed than he felt. "There's potential there, you know?" Mia crossed her arms, leaning against the counter. "But at what sacrifice? Our identity is more than just profit margins. We have a story to tell, a culture to uphold. We can't lose that." Her words hit him like a bolt. "True," he sighed, hands resting on the countertop, the wooden grain rough beneath his fingertips. "But maybe we could use his resources to tell our story better?" The thought spiraled in his mind. What if they could leverage the investment without losing their essence? Ethan's vision offered tools, connections, mentorship, a way to grow while remaining rooted. Yet that lingering voice of doubt kept whispering about the threads that could unravel if they weren't careful. "Let's make a list," Tom suggested suddenly, the idea energizing him. "What do we want to achieve both financially and creatively?" Mia's brows raised in intrigue. "I like that. It gives us a clear direction." They worked through the day, surrounded by the warm scents of pastries and coffee, mapping out their aspirations. Each idea lifted their spirits: community workshops, storytelling through their baking, seasonal menus celebrating local farmers. It became clear that growth didn't need to mean exploitation. It could mean evolution. Yet, as they drafted visions and ambitions, Tom's mind drifted to Ethan's proposition of collaboration. What if this partnership became more than mere numbers? Could he transform it into a vehicle for innovation that celebrated their core values? As he articulated their goals aloud, something began to shift. He envisioned a bakery not just as a business, but as a catalyst for change, a space that fostered engagement, creativity, and community. "Tom," Mia interrupted, pulling him back from his thoughts, "we're on the right track, but what's next? If we're serious about considering Ethan's offer, we need a plan to present our objectives clearly." "Yes, we need to ensure our identity remains at the forefront," Tom replied, a sense of urgency building. His heart raced. They were standing at a new precipice, one where emotion intertwined with clarity. As the day wore on, Tom felt a surge of purpose. He recognized this juncture as not only a moment to solidify their bakery's future, but also a pivotal point for his own personal development. Staying true to their mission demanded courage, but it was also a chance to redefine success on their terms. Finally, as evening settled over the bakery and the last batch of pastries cooled, Tom sat again in silence. The clarity he had gained was refreshing, but still fragile. Could he confront Ethan with a clear articulation of their identity? As he contemplated this pivotal meeting, excitement and trepidation coalesced in his gut. Yet, as thoughts of Ethan crept back in, a flash of doubt arose. What if they failed? What if they lost everything trying to hold on to their vision? Tomorrow promised a confrontation, both with Ethan and with himself. The chance to stand up for their beliefs in the face of financial allure. With the sun slipping beneath the horizon, Tom found himself wrestling with that very question. Could he ultimately weave a path that sustained their integrity while courting growth? Weighing the balance between resilience and risk lay ahead, and Tom was ready to meet whatever challenges awaited him. But first, he needed to clarify that path, so when Ethan returned, he could stand firm. Tomorrow would decide not only the future of the bakery, but his evolution as an entrepreneur willing to shout his truth amid the noise. The following morning, Tom arrived at the bakery with a renewed sense of purpose, each step more confident than the last. He could feel the weight of uncertainty begin to lift, replaced by the structure they had crafted together in the past days. Today could define not just their bakery's future, but also his transformation into a partner who refused to compromise on their values. As he walked through the familiar door, the aroma of fresh-baked goods filled his senses. The sun streamed through the windows, illuminating Mia as she prepared the day's pastries. When she looked up, her smile matched the warmth of the light flooding the room. The energy between them crackled with anticipation. They were ready to face the storm ahead. "Are you ready?" she asked, her expression a blend of encouragement and resolve. Tom nodded firmly. "I feel prepared. We've laid out our vision. Today, we'll present it clearly to Ethan. Let's ensure he knows exactly what we stand for." They spent the morning sketching out their ideas, refining their narrative, and rehearsing their key points. Tom shared how their bakery wasn't just a business. It was a representation of community, resilience, and creativity. It was this ethos that they intended to expand, not at the expense of integrity, but in a way that celebrated their identity. When Ethan walked into the bakery, it felt as if the air shifted. The weight of his presence was palpable. He approached Tom and Mia with an air of confidence, holding a small folder that he placed on the counter as if it contained the keys to success. "Great to see you both again," he began, his tone confident but curious. "I've been eager to discuss how we can collaborate." Tom exchanged a glance with Mia, and together they shifted from uncertainty into the driving force of their partnership. "Actually," Tom began, grounding his voice with calmness, "we've taken some time to evaluate your proposal, and we appreciate the opportunity. However, we want to ensure any collaboration remains true to our core values." Ethan's brows raised slightly in surprise, but then nodded, his demeanor professional. "Of course, what are your thoughts?" Mia stepped forward, her confidence echoing Tom's resolve. "We want to build this bakery not just for profit, but as a narrative that resonates with our community. Our pastries have stories just as compelling as their flavors. We see this not as just a business venture, but as a way to share something meaningful." Tom continued, emboldened by her words. "If we proceed with your collaboration, we want it structured not just on financial growth, but on storytelling and involvement from our patrons. We'd like to develop a series of events that allow our community to engage with us, not just as customers, but as part of the bakery's story." Ethan listened intently, his expression shifting from one of evaluation to contemplation, as if he was gauging the prospect of a deeper partnership. "That's a refreshing perspective. Most businesses focus solely on numbers. Tell me more about how you envision this." "We want to host workshops," Mia replied, her hands gesturing enthusiastically. "Events where customers can come in and learn the art of baking behind each pastry. It's about creating connections, not only with our community, but with the ingredients and stories we use." Tom added, "We see this as a way to amplify our brand while still focusing on quality and integrity rather than cutting corners." He paused to gauge Ethan's reaction, finding an openness he hadn't expected. As their discussion unfolded, Tom watched Ethan's expression shift. The sharpness in his gaze softened with recognition of their commitment. "I can see the passion you both have for this bakery, and it's clear that your authenticity is your largest asset. A partnership for purely financial reasons wouldn't suit your vision. Let's explore how I can help accelerate this narrative without sacrificing your ideals." The conversation flowed seamlessly, and with each exchange, Tom felt lighter, more empowered. They outlined a creative engagement plan that would integrate the bakery's essence with Ethan's marketing expertise. At last, as the meeting drew to a close, Tom reflected on how far he had come since that initial moment of insecurity. The power to define success on their own terms had transformed him. He had learned to navigate through fear, finding confidence in collaboration and authenticity, qualities that had fueled not only his professional path, but reshaped his self-belief. Ethan extended his hand with a thoughtful smile. "I appreciate your clarity. I'm on board to support your vision. This could be the start of something very special." The handshake felt less like a deal and more like a partnership bound by shared purpose. Tom's heart brimmed with satisfaction, a moment of true achievement against all the odds. As the day waned, each decision felt like a building block toward their future success. The bakery would not only survive, it would thrive. Tom stood beside Mia, pride swelling within him as they watched familiar faces arrive to partake in the warmth of their creations. Together, they had conquered doubts and forged a path that honored their dreams. They weren't just bakers anymore. They were the architects of a legacy that connected people through the simple pleasures of life. With newfound resolve, Tom embraced the realization that their journey was just beginning. They would continue to build this bakery, steadfastly grounded in their values, with every challenge presenting an opportunity to grow. And as the last rays of sunlight filled the bakery, Tom felt a joy that echoed through the walls, envisioning a future that promised not just success, but an enriching experience that would endure long after the pastries had disappeared. Now is the time to truly embrace this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Every like counts. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending. Your thoughts matter. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. You need to spread the word about this empowering story. Don't wait even one more second to show your support.